Hey vets, if you've got 5 minutes, I'm going to show you how to boost your VA ratings in 2025. Whether you're a first-time filer or you're looking for an increase, this could be the difference between getting denied and getting the ratings that you deserve. So let's just jump right into it. First, you need to know what's changing in 2025. The VA is looking to make a lot of changes to different disabilities, and knowing what is out there in the process for changing is super important. For example, mental health is about to change. If you have a super high rating in mental health, you may not want to consider opening that disability claim up because it could get reduced. Right now, with a high rating in mental health, you're grandfathered in. However, on the flip side, if you're rated low, it's very possible you could get rated higher. There's a lot of skepticism out there on what the new mental health rating criteria is. I've looked it over. I think it actually looks like it's in favor for some vets, but if you're at a 50 or a 70%, I don't know that I would chance it unless you feel really strongly about the criteria. Another one is sleep apnea. If you have it and you're rated at 50%, you definitely don't want to mess with this one. But if you have it and you believe it's service connected and you're using a CPAP machine and you don't have it, you need to get your intent to file in and get this one on the books because you're about to lose it. Tinnitus is obviously getting updated. It's going to change a little bit. It's going to be dropped into hearing. I think that if you have it, if you get it or you don't have it currently, you should at least put in for it. Go get it so you can get that 10%. I think tinnitus is probably the easiest one to get. So make sure that you have that one. So just be cognizant of that. Take a look at what the new changes are that are coming down the pipeline. Number 2, this one's the most important. You want to get solid medical evidence. All evidence is good, but medical evidence is the best, obviously. And you just need to make sure that you have it. Your claim is only going to be as strong as your medical proof and or the records that you have to support or substantiate your claim. But medical evidence is so important. So make sure you're seeing your doctor if you have a condition or you think you have a condition, you have symptoms. You can't self-diagnose even though you think you know what you have. You got to bring those symptoms to a doctor so they can help you figure out exactly what you have. And most importantly, they can document it in your medical records. No one can argue medical records. So make sure that you're looking back to all the doctors that you've seen over the years, even since you've been out and when you were in. Go get those medical records because that's going to show, the continued path of treatment. And I know a lot of us, we've seen doctors and we haven't exactly kept records when they hand them to us, but you got to start that process and it does take some time. So make sure that you're doing that. You would be surprised at, especially for my older vets that have diagnosis is in their records and just don't realize it, don't remember it, or don't remember the complaints that you made while you're in the military. So you would be shocked. If you need to get a Nexus letter, that is considered medical evidence. I do not like to recommend vets to go out and get Nexus letters on the first go around because they cost money. But if you can get your doctor who sees you every single time and understands your condition and understand what it might be connected to, a Nexus letter would be great because it would be free. But if you do need a Nexus letter or you need some help from a doctor, maybe your doctor just doesn't understand what you're asking for, or maybe you just don't feel comfortable and you think you need that and you've already applied once and you're at the appeal stage, then I do highly recommend considering to get a Nexus letter or at least getting a free consultation. If you're looking for that, check out my website. I'll put a link in the description below. I have a free website for veterans. All you have to do is go on there and look. There's a list of doctors that I'm aware of that will do Nexus letters and evaluations that speak the VA language, but they do charge you. So don't go right to that and jump right to that, that part, because a lot of us can get this stuff with just medical records from our doctor. But just check out that link below, bookmark it just in case you need it, and that resource is there for you. I don't charge. Write a personal statement that matters is the third thing that you can do in 2025. This one's very important. I've written a lot of personal statements for VA claims. I think they're super helpful to the VA raters. I think the VA raters have a hard job. They have to actually look at what you have, look at your package, and make a decision on whether or not, what you have is service connected, and to what degree is it debilitating or disabling, and where does it run up in the 38 CFR to give you the correct rating. I like to write the personal statement almost as I'm trying to prove something, because we are, and to make sure that everything that they need is in there. Just make sure that it's truthful, make sure it's consistent, and make sure it's your words. But those are super important. If you're interested, it's a VA Form 214138. That's where you tell your story. I like to put the disability or what I'm trying to do on the very top line. So if I'm going for, headaches or migraines, I will put like diagnostic code, and then I'll put the diagnostic code in there, and I'll put the medical condition next to it. And then I'll tell my story. I'll say I was diagnosed with headaches on this date during a visit to the military treatment facility. So a military doctor diagnosed me with bad headaches or bad migraines, and then from that point forward, I've continued to have headaches. I've taken medication, or I've self-medicated, or I've been prescribed medication, and then I just essentially explain that I've continued to seek treatment. I've continued to be seen for my headaches. I continue to take medication, and then I talk about the frequency. I get these headaches 3 times a week. They cause me to have to leave work and lay on the couch at home in a dark room. Whatever the symptoms are for you, whatever's true for you, tell your story in there, because then they can cross-reference that with the appropriate section in 38 CFR, and they will give you the appropriate rating, hopefully. We don't want you writing language that is, matches up with the 38 CFR exactly. Write it in your own words, but try to tell your story so that they can take that and correlate it with what's in the law book and get you the right rating. Number 4, one of the best ways to boost your rating is just to take a look at your current ratings and decision letters. Do a thorough audit. You put in these disability claims over the past couple of years. You've been denied some, you've been granted some. Take a look at them. Take a look at all of them and figure out what's not rated properly. Take a look at them, look at 38 CFR, and see if what they wrote is accurate. See if maybe take a good self-assessment and find out if your conditions have increased or gotten worse since the time that you were rated, and attempt to see if you're at that next percentage. And if you are, then submit an appeal for an increase. That's a great way to do that. If you're rated too low right now and it's not proper, the VA wants you to be properly rated, or at least I'd like to think so. So if you're lower than what you should be, get that thing increased. If your condition's gotten worse, it should be much easier, especially if you've been going to the doctor. So just make sure that you compare whatever symptoms you're having with what the VA's rating criteria is, and that is a great, simple, super easy way to get an increase, or at least be considered for one. Now, with all of these things, my last tip is taking, your own self-assessment of everything that I've talked about here, figuring out like where your game plan would be, and then go sit down with a VSO or someone, that can help you, that's not going to charge you, and see if you can get increased, or see what their thoughts are on getting increased to the next level for that rating. That's an easy way to do it, folks. If you're new to this and you haven't done this before and you're not sure what to do, or maybe you've submitted a bunch and you're getting them denied, I do have a free worksheet. It's a brainstorm worksheet for VA disability claims. I don't charge anything. You just simply, you ask me for it. Just ask me in the comments, worksheet. I will send you a swipe file on YouTube, and you can click on it. You can get it's a Google spreadsheet, essentially. you'll make a copy of it so that it's yours. I won't see it. No one else will see it. It's your copy. And you can use that as kind of a go-by on getting your thoughts and your strategy in order. And then you can print that or just send it to your VSO and kind of use that as your initial challenge to this thing. Taking this thing to a VSO will help them kind of understand where you're at, and we'll get all the juices flowing. That's free for you. Check it out. Also, as I mentioned before, if you go on the link below, you can go onto my website. I have a list of doctors that do this VA stuff. They understand the language. That's free for you. It's there. It's open. Anybody can access it. Go check it out. Good luck, and until next video.